G'day everyone, continuing my top 20 albums series. Hope you're enjoying it. We're up to album number 14 now, and this is one for the grunge fans out there. In fact, maybe not even some of them, because this is a band that seemed to always really sharply divide opinion, and I was certainly always in the yes camp. I'm talking about Stone Temple Pilots. The album in question is their debut, and it's called Core, released in 1992, so with the grunge movement still at its peak. These guys were always sort of portrayed critically as Johnny come latelys and impersonators, I guess, sort of never receiving the same sort of critical kudos as Nirvana or Soundgarden or Alice in Chains. And probably unfair for a number of reasons, because they had a longer career than most of those other bands. In fact, they're still going now. I've just released a sort of basically acoustic album. Scott Weiland, the lead vocalist, sadly died a few years ago. He was replaced by Chester Barrington from Linkin Park, who sadly also died. Sounds a bit Spinal Tap-ish, this story, doesn't it? There's a new frontman now, but back to the beginning. I think this is a terrific album. First I became aware of it was a single which did really well on the charts, Plush. Slow tempo, but still got that grungy, gritty feel about it. I like the lyrics. I like it's got a melodic feel about it, and Scott Weiland's vocals, as they often were, a real highlight in this album. That's probably one of the more restrained tracks on the album, actually. The other bigger single off it, which is a ripper, I think probably their best song, it's called Sex Type Thing. That also embroiled them in a bit of controversy too, because it's written from the point of view of a rapist. And a lot of people, I think, failed to pick up on that, and they were slagged as being misogynistic, and the opposite is in fact quite the case. I think they were pretty outspoken on a lot of social and gender issues along the way. But, if you're looking for representations of the grunge era, this for mine really stands up. Starts out ultra heavy. Dead and Bloated is the opening track. And again, that slow, sort of typically grungy, chugging tempo, but a great track, that one. Sex Type Thing's the second track. Wicked Garden, a bit more upbeat, also released as a single, I think. Other standout tracks for me are Sin. That's quite a lengthy, well, by their standards, over 5 minutes, but it's got a really nice instrumental break in the middle of it. Piece of Pie is another favourite. Plush, like I said, and the closing track, Where the River Goes, which is a bit of another sort of epic closer. Might be in the realm of about 8 minutes, but it's no mistaking this album is very, very heavy. As Stone Temple Pilots went on, they got progressively poppier. Came up with a range of interesting sounding albums. Their next album, Purple, is probably the most critically acclaimed album they did. That had Interstate Love Song on it, which is one of their best known tracks. Vaseline, really good album too. The album after that, I think, what's it called? Songs from the Vatican, or it's a very long title, but I found I liked them slightly less with each passing release. Scott Weiland had a lot of issues with drug abuse, and they found it very hard to sort of come together for any length of time to record. And the other guys, Robert and Dean DeLeo, who guitar and bass, they went off and did several side projects. Drummer, by the way, Eric, I never remember his name, Eric Katz, good drummer. Really tight band, like musically I think they really held up. So, certainly a band without the critical acclaim of a lot of their Seattle sound brethren, but I think unfairly so. I think this is a really good album. Barely a track on it that I hit skip on. And all these years later, I mean, it came out in 1992. It's what, 28 years later, I'm still giving it an absolute pasting over the stereo. So I think it's great. If you've heard a couple of Stone Temple Pilots tracks and want to check out the heavier side of them, this is certainly the album to be listening to. I'll probably cop a bit of flack for this choice. I know plenty of people that don't like them at all, but tough luck, kids. This is my list, and they're on it with what I reckon is a great album, Stone Temple Pilots and Core. I'll see you later.